AOC. What? She's kind of fun in a silly but earnest, wrong but adorable way. She's like your daughter when she comes back from her first year at Brown, full of half-baked, half opinions, in need of some gentle, patient deprogramming. But people have to realize new faces doesn't mean new ideas. Drives me crazy. AOC has never introduced a fresh idea or issue in her life.
Oh my gosh, you guys, Gutfeld just showed up like boom out of nowhere and went straight for AOC like the drama queen of tweets and sass. But guess what? This time, she ain't the one roasting. She's the one getting roasted, and everyone is losing it because Greg just dropped stuff so wild that people can't even blink. It's not just politics now, it's a whole messy mix of jokes, chaos, and truth that could totally shake up her game.
There is nothing consistent with the Republican Party's continued attack except for the racism and incitement of violence against women of color in this. The Republican caucus threatened my life, and you all and the Republican caucus rewarded him with one of the most prestigious committee assignments in this Congress. Don't tell me this is about consistency. Don't tell me that this is about a condemnation of anti-
Alright guys, if you're vibing with this, then go smash that subscribe button because it means more than you know. So Gutfeld calling out AOC isn't even politics anymore. It's like a full comedy show pretending to talk about serious stuff. Because honestly, if you've ever seen her, she walks around like a superhero from a movie cape or not. She's always camera ready and loving every bit of the spotlight.
She gets along with Bernie is because she's like an 80-year-old leftist in a used bookstore. I mean, she may look fresh, but she's as stale as an abandoned futon on the street. It's like, I listen to her, I go, I heard that at Berkeley in 1983. So their problem is, and the reason why they don't have any ideas is they operate on half opinions. Like, what if we get rid of cash bail? Oh, let's do it. What happens? You have repeat criminals wreaking havoc. What if we have sanctuary cities? Hey, let's do it. What happens? You have rapists and killers, finding sanctuary, safe haven. What if we give
AOC always talking like she's got the whole world on her shoulders? Then Gutfeld jumps in with that grin like, hold up, this ain't saving the world. This is a comedy show, and I just became the main act.
I love how she explains it. They're not meant for you, right? But then you have to ask, okay, then what is this debt forgiveness? Who is it meant for? And when you look at the data, it's upper white middle class liberal women. This ain't welfare, right? These are well-to-do people. It's a bribe for Democrats on the backs of plumbers, truckers, and everyone else who actually does a real job, unlike me. AOC is the symbol of the entitled sponge. She complains about student loans, but she owns a Tesla.
The funniest thing ever is how every time AOC walks in, she acts like the hero of the people talking about free stuff and rooftop gardens like it's all sunshine. Then Gutfeld strolls in like that savage uncle at family dinner who always cracks jokes and never lets anyone's big talk slide.
Think about what their ideas incentivize. That would be nice. So where are their ideas going to come from? Trump. The only way they're going to create a message is based on whatever Trump does. So I have some slogans for the Democrat Party.
Oh, that's wow.
The Democrat Party, when you're tired of success.
Okay.
The Democrat Party, make America suck again. Democrat Party, the first choice for illegals, vandals, and dead people.
Greg doesn't come at her with boring papers or stats. He just flips her fancy talk like pizza dough and bakes it into pure comedy, making her big money plans sound like a teen blowing cash at a makeup store. But this isn't just jokes. He's actually exposing how she talks about fighting capitalism while flexing designer hoodies and sipping pricey drinks. Then he points out how her real fame comes from social media, not Congress, cause her TikToks look more like shows than politics with ring lights and fans hyping her up like she's on stage. And that's when it hits. Maybe she's not really leading. Maybe she's just influencing.
Worse, she owns a French bulldog. Thanks to Cat Temp, I know everything about French bulldogs. And one thing I know,
I got a French
they are so expensive. They're more expensive than any college tuition. That you got to take care of them. They're adorable dogs. But she owns a Tesla and she owns a French bulldog, and she wants you or your dad, the electrician, to forgive her student loan. That's BS. Turn in the Tesla, Sell the dog. I'll buy it half price.
Greg got all the proof lined up, and he loves showing how her big Green New Deal dream sounds more like a wish list from a teenager who wants free stuff for everyone, like school jobs and maybe even puppies. But when he asks who's paying, she just points at billionaires like it's a buffet, and Greg's like, girl, math is real. Then the dream suddenly looks broke and shaky, like cheap furniture put together wrong, and the reactions are wild. One side cheering Greg like he's preaching truth, and the other side panicking, trying to defend her like she's saving the world.
Meantime, AOC is taking a break from doing nothing to get into a beef with the Twitter chief. On Tuesday, she tweeted LMAO at a billionaire earnestly trying to sell people on the idea that free speech is actually an $8 a month subscription plan. That's a reference to Musk's plan to charge people $8 a month for verified blue checkmark status. But he hit back tweeting, your feedback is appreciated. Now pay $8. To be fair,
people in the middle are just cracking up because honestly, watching Gutfeld and AOC go at it is more fun than Netflix. But here's the twist behind all the laughs. There's a truth that stings because Greg uses comedy like a weapon. He doesn't just talk about her plans. He shows how it's all wrapped up in filters, slogans, and social buzz that sound big online but fall apart in real life. He calls out how she turns politics into performance while pretending it's progress, and that hits hard because it's true. He's basically saying out loud what everyone's thinking, like, is this Congress or just another TikTok show? And in a time where politics feels like a TV drama, she's the influencer and he's the critic, roasting the whole thing with jokes that burn a little too real.
to be fair, she'd love to spend the $8, but she already bought a Tesla. He also tweeted a photo of ugly AOC merch she's trying to hawk for $58. Overpriced merch, AOC. Seems pretty capitalistic of you, which according to you makes you evil. And according to anyone paying attention, also makes you full.
So here's how it goes. Every time Greg takes a jab at her numbers, he's not just being funny, he's showing how her big dreamy plans don't really add up. And when he teases her whole working class vibe, he's calling out how her words don't match her lifestyle. And when he goes after her Insta activism, he's just saying politics turned into a stage play. Then AOC jumps in, firing tweets like always, but instead of ending it, she keeps the drama alive and Greg just keeps tossing jokes back. It's like a never-ending show where he cracks the jokes, she reacts, and everyone else watches laughing, while Greg quietly reminds people that good talk means nothing if you can't make it work, because if you can't pay for that perfect world, maybe it's just something to post, not something to build.
I mean, first of all, $80 per theater. I made $80 in a theater and there wasn't even a movie playing.
Wow. What do you mean?
I don't know. It's no surprise. Who would go see a movie that's the opposite of entertaining? There's nothing entertaining about that. Michael Moore's colonoscopy is more entertaining than that because there's probably more twists. But it does show you how great it is to be a progressive in a liberal biased culture. She really doesn't do her job, right? She makes movies, she goes to galas, she sits for glossy butt-kissing interviews in GQ and other women's magazines.
And that's exactly why Greg's roasts hit so hard, because they're not just jokes, they actually open people's eyes, cutting through all the fancy talk and online drama to show what's really hiding underneath. People love it because deep down, they're tired of being fed dreamy stories that never add up. Greg just makes it funny while dropping truth bombs. And by the end, yeah, AOC still gets her spotlight because she lives for it, but now everyone sees her in a different light. Like the shine fades a little and the act starts to look more like a show than leadership, which is funny and kind of scary when you think about it.
That is funny. That's mean. You're
right,
mean. You're being mean.
But I'm fascinated they thought there was an audience for this outside of like Earth Justice or the Justice Democrats, because who really wanted to go and see this thing? And then tomorrow you'll have an article that we'll have to talk about, which is that kids all over America are having nightmares about climate change. Well, no wonder.
Well, Jessica, what about the fact that the climate activists are very much, they're very much enthused about what they do?
If you thought Greg and AOC were done, think again, because this whole thing feels like a never-ending show every time she posts or talks. Greg turns it into another comedy moment. It's less about politics now and more like a stage where she's the star, and he's the one doing the funny commentary. She keeps calling herself the voice of the people like some modern hero, but it all feels a bit like realizing your gym fees are gone and you never even went. And when she talks about saving the planet, it sounds like she's pitching a superhero movie where she's the lead with endless powers and Greg just sits back smiling because he knows the audience is watching not for change, but for the drama.
AOC was on 60 Minutes last night. Quite a feat for a newcomer. Must be all her great new ideas.
people are going to have to start paying their fair share in taxes. Once you get to like the tippy tops, on your $10 millionth dollar, sometimes you see tax rates as high as 60 or 70%.
What an expression. Now, the real story isn't AOC's very old ideas. It's the media's gushy view of her. Even with her old ideas, she gets on 60 Minutes. The past is called the future, and you better love it.
Greg just looks at her big dream plans and goes, nice idea, but who's paying for all that selling t-shirts or what? And suddenly her whole pitch sounds less like real law stuff and more like some funny fundraiser with wild goals like free unicorns. He doesn't argue like a boring expert. He roasts like a comedian, saying her math looks like something scribbled on a napkin after too many drinks and her plans have about as much detail as a kid's doodle. And that's why his jokes go viral, because they hit hard and stay in your head while her fans freak out. He just laughs, turning every debate into fresh comedy. And honestly, it's like she's throwing water balloons while he's holding a flamethrower, no contest. And what makes it even funnier is how the media jumps in crying that Greg's being too mean, which only gives him more material to play with.
See his delightful dancing video from last week. The media created a fake story that conservatives attacked her over this delightful trifle. Not really. In fact, the only stories written about the dance were by liberals using it to falsely smear the right. So the press creates a shield around her in which any criticism must be due to sexism or bigotry, when in fact it's in their heads and not ours. But this strategy works by preventing real criticism about her actual beliefs, which are retreads of horrible ideas from previous centuries. Socialism with a smile, fascism among friends, Venezuela meets vegan.
So while conservative media blasts Greg's jokes everywhere like they're the new cool slogans, everyone else just grabs popcorn and watches this wild duo play out like a strange comedy show. She's the influencer pretending to save the world, and he's the sarcastic uncle turning it all into late night gold together. They've made something funnier than half the stuff on Netflix. But deep down, it kinda says a lot about politics, cause AOC feeds off attention, good or bad. Every meme and clapback keeps her famous, but Greg's jokes hit where it hurts, showing that catchy words don't fix problems and followers don't make laws. And maybe that's the real truth. Hiding in all the laughs being famous online doesn't mean you're running the show in real life.
The YouGov poll says AOC has 61% approval rating for Democrats, right? The highest of any Democrat unless they've been elected president. So if your new brand ambassador is going to be AOC, then I think it's more than just the messaging and the branding.
So by now you heard that AOC, among others, were arrested last night. She truly is an American hero. It was brutal, taken out in cuffs. Well, technically, her shirt had cuffs. Maybe French cuffs, as she did surrender without fight.
And here's the funny part. She's never gonna stop, cause AOC without all the drama and flashy lives just wouldn't be AOC, and Greg's not stopping either, cause without her, he's got no show. It's like they secretly need each other. She gives him the content, he gives her the spotlight, and we all sit back laughing at the circus, cause every time she drops a new idea or goes live, it's just another chance for Greg to spin it into comedy gold. And honestly, this isn't ending soon, cause in this crazy club called Washington, she's the influencer, grabbing attention, and he's the loud heckler with the mic that never turns off. If you're into this kind of spicy drama, then hit subscribe and stick with Jacob Reports for more wild stories and truth bombs. You'll love every bit of it.